Okay.
You're persistent. It's worse than old and goofy.
Well.
No, your uncle did that to my mother when he went to visit. There's 2 babies. There's 3 babies over there, actually.
3 babies in a row.
Yeah. And she babbled on and told things, that she probably was sorry she told. She didn't realize she was on camera, so she told things about Uncle Henny.
Wow. Where'd that video go?
Henny. It's still around.
What did she tell about Uncle Henny?
He was a gambler and a gangster and slept with a gun under his pillow, which nowadays we're all supposed to do. It's our constitutional right.
Didn't he kind of support you guys, though?
No. Who?
Oh.
Uncle Henny?
Yeah.
He didn't support his own family. He
Oh.
took off most of the time, was never home. I don't know how they survived. That Dory and Rita, that's his daughters on that picture.
Oh.
No, he didn't support his father. He dumped my grandfather, took his money, and threw him out. So my grandfather came back to us. We had no money. We had no room. We had too many kids, but my grandfather always came back to us.
Do you remember your grandfather before he was old?
No, how could I? Because I was born in 1929 and he died in 1946. So
that's still 20 years.
I was 16 when he died.
That's the same age I was when Papa died. So I remember Papa
I
when
remember
he was...
him not when he was, but I remember him before he died.
No, but do you remember him when he was like walking around and still...
Of course. Well, he was walking around, but he was not in the prime of life, because he would have been in his 70s even, if I remember, 60s. And he was crippled. He went from old man, triple on legs, pretty soon make a die.
Was he crippled even early on?
I don't know when he became crippled. Mimi said something about that when he worked for Gibbs family out on State Road. It was freezing or snowy or something. He always walked. Nobody had cars anyway, and there was no public. There was no way to go, when you went to. And he was coming home from work or something and stopped to rest, she said. And I don't know if it was considered to be, what is it you get from frostbite? Yeah, whatever. Somewhere along the line, he got a bone, if not a cancer, it was, what do you call it when it goes through all your bones?
I don't know.
Some kind of itis.
Osteoarthritis?
Well, osteoporosis or something. Yeah, I don't know. But anyway, and in those days, he could have had an operation, but they decided that his heart, in his age 70s, in those days they weren't doing surgery on 70-year-olds, which tells you something about what we're doing now. So he just lived with it, and he lived with pain. And he walked, he limped, didn't limp, but he had, this leg was stiff. He walked with a cane, so he kind of threw his leg, but walked very.
Do you remember him together with your grandmother ever?
No.
Never standing next to each other, never...
No, that happened right before they broke up, separated, which in the Catholic Church is not, it's just slightly legal, I guess, because divorce is absolutely against, you get thrown out if you divorce. So they had a formal or a legal separation, I guess, which is short of a divorce, I don't know. And that happened right before I was born.
So he wasn't living in your grandmother's house?
That was his house.
But he wasn't living there when you were little?
He moved out. I can't tell exactly when or what, because I didn't realize I was born in that house. I was born in his house.
What was the address of that house?
4759 Milnor Street, which is not there anymore. The freeway came through there and knocked down all those old houses.
So where'd your grandma go when it knocked down?
No, that didn't get knocked down until after they were both dead. But the house was standing there. I remember the house clearly. It was of all the houses we lived in, I remember that house. But he owned it, so what she did somehow was to buy him off. And apparently, as I remember, it was $500, which sounds like nothing now for a house, but it was a row house, very nice 3-bedroom house. in a fairly decent neighborhood. You know, they were immigrants, but it was not a low income slums or anything. So apparently he bought her off because my sister, who was into all the research and genealogy and crap, you know, found papers where I think an uncle who knew about legal stuff like that got them to do the legal work where he was the witness or whatever for the sale or the splitting up of that
So where'd
house.
he go then?
He took his money and he went to live with Uncle Henny. Uncle Henny.